Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of The World Today. It is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, Ibadan Zonal Station, comprising news and feature. In the lineup, federal government seeks support to resettle returnees. FAN advocates integration of commercial transport within airports. On the foreign scene, President Trump vows to tougher economic measures on Iran. Ukraine battles air defense shortages. Heart of the matter is on federal government directive on disciplinary action against students involved in kidnapping in tertiary institutions. My name is Stephen Agbaje. With me on the news is
Remy Omolola. You can also listen to us via www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Prem FM 93.5. Be conscious of your environment. Report any suspicious activity. Now, the news in full. The federal government has called on state government to complement its efforts in evacuating and resettling Nigerians at risk abroad, warning that no citizen should be abandoned. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu made the call in an update posted on her X handle, saying that state must assist in cushioning the difficult process of relocation and resettlement of their returnee indigenes under President Bola Tinubu's citizen diplomacy agenda. Ambassador Odumegwu appealed for assistance as a new batch of 83 Nigerian nationals were evacuated from South Africa following continued xenophobic attack and anti-foreigner sentiments in the country. She commended Imo, Abia, and Enugu State for their intervention so far.
The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has clarified that it has not imposed a blanket ban on Uber, Bolt, and other e-hailing services at Nigerian airports, saying its ongoing engagement with the operators is aimed at establishing a framework that guarantees passenger safety, security, and orderly airport operations. The clarification was contained in a statement issued by the management of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. FAN said its position was not aimed at restricting passengers' access to transportation options or undermining the role of e-hailing platforms, but at ensuring that commercial transport services operating within airport premises are identifiable, accountable, and properly integrated into the airport's operational and security framework. It also reaffirmed its commitment to working with Uber, Bolt, and other mobility providers to ensure that passengers continue to have safe and convenient transportation options at Nigerian airports.
The Ogun State Police Command has reactivated Operation Velvet across the state's 20 local government areas as part of intensified efforts to enforce traffic regulations, improve road safety, and ensure the free flow of vehicular movement on major highways. The operation, directed by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, target traffic violations that endanger motorists and other road users, as well as those that create security vulnerabilities along major transit corridors. According to the command in a statement posted on X, the enforcement will target one-way driving, reckless and dangerous driving, unauthorized use of emergency sirens, and vehicles with missing, altered, or covered registration plates. Other offenses targeted include driving without a valid license, vehicular overloading, and indiscriminate parking that obstruct the free flow of traffic.
Similarly, the Benue State Police Command has commenced operation to enforce traffic regulations, improve road safety, and reduce traffic incidents and congestion across the state. In a statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Oche Andogu, the command said the operation, called Velvet, was launched in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu. Mr. Andogu explained that the exercise will target motorists, tricycle operators, motorcyclists, and other road users, with emphasis on compliance with traffic signs, one-way restrictions, and speed limits. He noted that the operation would also address overloading and ensure that motorists possess valid vehicle documents, including roadworthiness certificates. According to Mr. Andogu, officers will check the validity of driver's license and proper vehicle registration, as well as covered or obscure number plates and whether plate numbers correspond with vehicle documents. The command said the primary objective of Operation Velvet was to promote compliance with road use regulations and make roads safer, adding that offenders involved in serious traffic or criminal violations would be prosecuted.
The people of Obada Ayetoro in Egbedore, local government area of Osun State, have appealed to Governor Ademola Adeleke to assist in reconstructing the collapsed bridge linking the town with neighboring communities. The Olobada Ayetoro Obarafiu Badamosi Adegbenjo made the appeal in an interview with Radio Nigeria in Oko, Oyo State, while speaking on the challenges confronting the community, including poor road infrastructure. Oba Adegbenjo said the bridge, which was constructed over 40 years ago through communal efforts, recently collapsed, making life difficult for residents, particularly farmers, to transport their produce to nearby towns and markets. The monarch noted that farmers in the community now rely on motorcycles to transport their produce to town instead of vehicles. Oba Adegbenjo said Obada Ayetoro had abundant cash crops, including rubber, yam, banana and palm, but lamented that poor road infrastructure and the collapsed bridge were hindering agricultural activities. He explained that motorists in the town now use the Oshogbo route instead of the shorter Ejigbo road, urging Governor Adeleke to urgently come to their aid.
Food security and sufficiency remain key priorities of successive administrations in Nigeria. However, achieving sustainable food security goes beyond agricultural production, as it also depends heavily on the availability of good rural road infrastructure. In this special report, our correspondent Olufunke Adeko examines how the poor condition of rural roads is affecting Nigeria's quest for food security.
At the forefront of food productivity and security in Nigeria is the need for a functional road network connecting Nigerian community with urban centers where consumers are concentrated. Although governments at all levels have demonstrated commitment to infrastructure development, particularly through road rehabilitation and reconstruction, the deplorable condition of many rural roads across the country continue to pose a major challenge to food production and distribution. Speaking on the issue, the chairman of All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, Oyo State Chapter, Mr. Adekunle Adewumi, lamented the difficulties farmers face in moving their produce from farm to urban markets.
At times when the vehicle is coming, the road used to disturb them. Their tire will stink out, those things and such things will happen. Then it always costs them at times around 24-48 hours before getting to the farmer. The cassava that is inside their vehicle will have been affected. The value of it will reduce. That is one of the effects of the bad road.
Beyond the farmers, transporters who provide the logistics for moving agricultural produce from the farms to the market also bear the consequences of poor road networks. Two commercial motorists who describe the hazard encountered on the road as enormous maintain that consumers are left with no option but to pay more for agricultural products as the additional costs incurred during the transportation are transferred to them.
We as a driver, we have to go down there to the bush and pick the market from them. If there's no good road, we charge them costly. If there's good road, we charge them cheaply. So they have choice. So it affects us because the fuel too. The fuel matter a lot.
An agricultural expert and Dean of Faculty of Agricultural Sciences, Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, Professor Ayodeji Salami, identified poor road network as one of the major factors responsible for the rising cost of food in Nigerian markets. Professor Salami explained that good rural roads will reduce post-harvest wastages, lower transportation costs, ensure timely delivery of farm produce, and encourage more farmers to invest in agriculture.
A higher consumer price can occur as a result of bad road. But of course, when the cost that is incurred as a result of high transportation cost is passed to the eventual consumers, it leads to high cost, and of course, to the farmers, there is a reduction in the marginal gain.
Commenting, the coordinator, Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Oyo State, Engineer Olatunde Adepoju, said the government has not relented in its efforts to rehabilitate roads linking farming community with urban center. The FEMA coordinator cited Agwa-Are, Shaki, and Ogbomosho roads as some of the routes that has received attention, saying the intervention were aimed at improving connectivity and supporting the movement of agricultural produce across the state.
Ask people in Shaki, Agwa-Are, Agwa-Amadu, Tede, that's one exists to Isheyin, Shaki, down to Ibadan. I can tell you all the sections that are bad, and I tell you what you have been done. In 2024 we worked there, in 2025 we worked there, in 2026 we have done work there. For Nigeria to achieve sustainable food security, attention must therefore go beyond increasing agricultural production to ensuring that what is produced can efficiently reach the final consumer. In Ibadan, Olufunke Adeeko, Radio Nigeria.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has clarified its policy on underage candidates seeking admission into Nigerian tertiary institution, explaining that age requirement, UTME participation, and conditions for exceptional admission. JAMB made the clarification in a video posted on its X account, maintaining that candidates below the age of 16 could still sit for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination but could be classified as underage. JAMB also cautioned that satisfying the requirement does not amount to an automatic admission offer. The clarification is particularly relevant to candidates who will not have attained the 16 by September 30, 2026, as they may participate in the UTME but face additional conditions before they could be considered for admission.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Nentawe Yewatda, has expressed confidence in the party's ongoing reconciliation process in Oyo State. Professor Yewatda made the remarks in an interview with newsmen in Ibadan shortly after meeting with the Oyo State APC Reconciliation Committee and the leadership of the party in the state. The APC national chairman said he was happy with the progress made by the Reconciliation Committee and expressed optimism that all grievances will be resolved before the general election.
It's normal for children of the same family to have some little challenges, but it's issues that can settle within the party. And we're happy that the party is still stable.
Reacting to the just concluded Osun State governorship election, Professor Yewatda said the party leadership was yet to take any position on the outcome of the election.
Opposing the party will involve not just us alone. It will involve the National Working Committee, inviting the candidate and taking the review of what happened in Osun State. You cannot take a position as a party.
Also speaking, the chairman of the APC Reconciliation Committee in Oyo State, Senator Olufemi Lanlane, said the committee had fruitful deliberation with the national chairman and gave an assurance that the party in the state will go to next year's election as a united body.
We just met the national chairman of the APC and the members of his working committee. They will look into some of the points we've raised, some of the issues raised by the aspirants.
Our correspondent reports that the APC national chairman is on a 2-day visit to Oyo State, where he also launched the party's campaign office in Ibadan.
The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC, Professor Nentawe Yewatda, has described President Bola Tinubu as the best leader for Nigeria this time, citing what he described as the president's commitment to the development and progress of the country. Professor Iwata stated this when he led the national leadership of the party on a courtesy visit to the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, at his palace in Okearemo, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, seeking the monarch blessing for the re-election of the president and victory for the 2027 governorship candidate of the party in Oyo State, Senator Sharafaddin Ali, and the deputy governorship candidate, Mr. Adesoji Adedeji. The APC National maintained that the ongoing economic projection of President Tinubu will place the country on a stronger path to sustainable growth. The APC chairman also acknowledged the importance of Oba Rashidi Ladoja in promoting peace, unity and development, while expressing appreciation to him for his leadership and contributions to the progress of Ibadan land and the country in general. In his response, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, who commended President Tinubu for approving some projects in Oyo State, including Ibadan-Ijebu-Ode Road dualization, welcomed the APC national chairman and his delegation, stressing that the party has made a right choice. On the entourage of the national chairman were National Secretary Senator Bashir Ajibola, Deputy National Chairman South Dr. Benny Woye, APC Chairman Oyo State Chief Moses Adeyemo, and other party leaders.
The Lagos State government has described the Isese Day occasion as an opportunity to promote and preserve Yoruba heritage, culture and traditions. The state government on its X handle extended greetings to Lagosians across the 5 Ibile divisions of Ikeja, Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos Island and Ekpe, noting that Isese Day provided an opportunity to celebrate the cultural values that had shaped the Yoruba people, while emphasizing the importance of preserving the heritage for future generations. It added that the state's diversity and cultural heritage remained central to its identity and contributed to making Lagos the vibrant city. The government also prayed for peace, unity and prosperity across Lagos communities, while expressing optimism that the state will continue to record progress without losing its cultural identity.
The Osun State Police Command has confirmed the death of a 6-year-old man, Tajuddin Yusuf, who was allegedly shot by suspected hoodlums in Osogbo, the state capital, shortly after a confrontation involving a group of suspected gang members and the security team of Nigeria singer David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido. In a statement signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Abiodun Ojelabi, Yusuf was shot by suspected hoodlums after an earlier incident at the palace of the Ataoja of Osogbo, Obajimo Olanipekun. According to the statement, Governor Ademola Adeleke, accompanied by his nephew David Adeleke, had earlier paid a thank you visit to the Ataoja at his palace. The police said that immediately after the visit, one Adebayo Taoreed allegedly attempted to gain access to Davido but was restricted by members of the singer's security team. The statement, however, explained that the suspect allegedly shot Yusuf at the Itaolokun area of Osogbo while on their way from the vicinity of the palace. The police said a patrol team was immediately mobilized to the scene, where Yusuf was found lying in a pool of blood and rushed to the Osun State University Teaching Hospital, Osogbo, for medical attention, but was pronounced dead by doctors on duty.
This is The World Today, the stories that made the headlines. Federal government has sought support to resettle returnees. FAN has advocated integration of commercial transport within airports. Still to come, President Trump vows tougher economic measures on Iran. Ukraine battles air defense shortages. Details shortly.
You are still with us on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria on the World News. Now to the foreign scene. United States President Donald Trump says he will launch tougher economic measures against Iran, as well as any country that helps or does business with it. President Trump noted that he was launching the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country, without providing further details or the names of any nation than Iran. The message comes after a 60-day ceasefire formally expired on Monday without any sign of a diplomatic settlement to the U.S. Recall that U.S. launched a wave of sanctions on foreign banks and firms that do business with Iran in April, when it became apparent that military action had not led to the overthrow of the regime in Tehran, nor its surrender, as President Trump had initially hoped.
Liberia has charged former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor with drug trafficking, money laundering, and a range of other offenses as part of investigation into an alleged transnational narcotics network. Liberia's Justice Ministry confirmed that Howard Taylor was detained before being allowed to board a flight at Roberts International Airport in the capital, Monrovia. Police Chief Gregory Coleman has linked her to the seizure of cocaine last month, valued at $317 million. The 63-year-old politician has yet to make any public comment about the allegations. Howard Taylor faces charges including the unlicensed importation, sale, and transportation of controlled drugs, illicit trafficking, criminal solicitation, and criminal facilitation.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says at least 13 people have died and 40 injured in the latest Russian strikes targeting the Ukrainian capital. The State Emergency Service of Ukraine said apartment blocks and warehouses were struck across the city overnight, while a children's hospital and school were also damaged. President Zelensky said Kiev has continued to face a shortage of air defense missiles, which will rely on Western allies to supply.
Out of the Matter today takes a look at federal government directives on disciplinary action against students involved in kidnapping in tertiary institutions. It is written by an intern from Fountain University, Osogbo, Osun State, Aliyat Moshood.
Recently, federal government directed vice-chancellors, rectors, and provosts across the country to immediately dismiss any student found after due investigation to have been involved in kidnapping or other violent crimes as part of fresh measures to strengthen security across tertiary institutions. Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, also ordered heads of tertiary institutions to strengthen internal intelligence networks and work closely with the Department of State Services and other security agencies to prevent criminal activities within and around campuses. The minister said, although Nigeria's universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education remained largely safe, recent isolated incidents involving students outside campuses underscored the need for stronger intelligence gathering and closer collaboration with security agencies. Beyond security, Dr. Alausa announced that the federal government will support security enhancement projects in tertiary institutions through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund's 2027 intervention program, including perimeter fencing and other critical security infrastructure. The country's tertiary institutions have for some time been targets for large-scale external abductions, such that thousands of students have been affected by armed banditry and ransom-seeking networks. Mass abduction of students cases at Greenfield University of Kaduna State, the Federal University of Gusau in Zamfara State, and the Federal University of Lafia in Nasarawa State were recorded. What has become practice in recent times shows that criminal elements have successfully recruited active students to serve as informants, providing them with critical insider knowledge on campus security and student movement. A nation already struggling with one of the world's highest numbers of out-of-school children cannot survive a future where classrooms become symbols of fear, rather than hope. Teachers become reluctant to work in rural areas as parents begin to see education as a dangerous gamble, while children grow up associating school with violence and uncertainty. Government has a duty to protect innocent citizens and preserve institutions which are centers of learning and excellence. There should be zero tolerance policy, which will serve as a necessary and timeless step to prevent campuses from turning into breeding grounds or safe havens for violent criminals. Nigeria needs to take a cue from countries like China that uses strict criminal prosecution, data-driven policing, comprehensive campus security policies, and robust digital surveillance systems to curb students' involvement in kidnapping. Also, in nations like the United States and the United Kingdom, kidnapping carries sentences ranging from multiple punishments to life imprisonment. Beyond dismissal, it should be stressed that administrative actions must not bypass strict evidence standards to avoid punishing the innocent. School authorities on their part need to improve on their intelligence sharing with the Department of State Services, DSS, and other security agencies to track off-campus criminal networks involving students. Expulsion, which is only an administrative remedy, must be paired with active criminal prosecution, economic stability, and enhanced campus policing to fully address the root causes of rising insecurity.
That script on federal government directives on disciplinary action against students' involvement in kidnapping in tertiary institutions was written by an intern from Fountain University, Osogbo, Osun State, Aliat Moshood, and read by Belinda Quadri.
To end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. The federal government has called on state government to complement its efforts in evacuating and resettling Nigerians at risk abroad, warning that no citizen should be abandoned. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has clarified that it has not imposed a blanket ban on Uber, Bolt, and other e-hailing services at Nigerian airports, saying its ongoing engagement with the operation is aimed at establishing a framework that guarantees passenger safety, security, and orderly airport operations. United States President Donald Trump says he will launch tougher economic measures against Iran, as well as any country that helps or does business with it. And last week in the news, we also told you that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says at least 13 people have died and 40 injured in the latest Russian strikes targeting Ukrainian capital.
And that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. Mudupe Toba edited. My name is Stephen Agbaje from my colleague
Remi Omololadu. Enjoy the rest of the day. Good afternoon.
Bye.